When I was about 24, I had a summer internship at Legal Aid in Charlotte, and it was a really amazing experience for me, y'all. Just kind of seeing like what I could do with the education that I was getting. Um, and the lawyers that I work with there, y'all, they have a really tough job. They represent poor people in a system that is stacked against them, just day in and day out, like very grueling. Um, and the new budget that we have here in North Carolina is going to make their jobs even harder because it cuts the funding for legal aid. I talked about this a little bit last week, but I didn't really understand how bad these cuts were at the time because they rushed this budget through in like 2 days, and there wasn't enough time to really understand it. But these they already froze some of this funding last year, and legal aid had to close offices in rural towns across the state. um, really bad. And this is not even taxpayer money, y'all. That's the really crazy part. This is interest on lawyers trust accounts. So like when lawyers have to hold money while they're deciding who gets what, the interest on that money goes to fund legal aid. We're going to become the only state in the country that takes that interest money and doesn't give it to fund legal aid. And they're also putting these new restrictions on what legal aid can and can't do. They can't help anybody with gender transitions, and they can't help any immigrants, which is really bad because they've been running this farm worker justice program for a long time now, where they help seasonal and migrant farm workers make sure they don't have any oppressive working conditions, make sure they get water breaks. And some of these Republican legislators, their families own these big farms where these workers toil. And that includes State Senator Lisa Barnes, whose family owns this big farm where a worker died not too long ago. Oh, and they also said that legal aid can't do anything to fund like messages that tell people to contact their legislators. These lawmakers really don't want to hear from the public. This budget, we've been waiting years for this, y'all, and this is what we get. It's really disappointing. I mean, there's some good things in the budget, but this is really bad, y'all. It's going to be bad for poor people across the state. It's just cruel, honestly. And it just proves that, once again, these Republicans are looking out for the interests of landlords and employers and the powerful, and not for the rest of us.